Well, after scratching and clawing, I have made it into the playoffs in 2 leagues, and I have a chance to make it into a third this week, so my advice may have been garbage this season, but it worked for me. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Podcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I am Tom. Yep, still haven't regained my voice back and still sound like our prepubescent boy, Grossi. And as we've been doing in every single week, we'll be breaking down the fantasy studs and duds for week 14 in the NFL, as many of you are heading into the playoffs. And now, there's really only going to be a couple more episodes of the Studs and Duds. Not only were they not really popular, but anytime I was late posting one, I got a whole bunch of DMs saying, where are they? So we're getting towards the end of the season as well when it comes to fantasy. So one of the final Studs and Duds episodes this season. Now, I want to do a quick Patreon shout out for a brand new Patreon, and that is Tula Amber. A big shout out and thank you for your donation, and it is much appreciated. I'll buy some throat lozenges with that. Now, let's jump into the studs this week. So my first stud, we're going to have all QBs for the studs this week. The first one is Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yep, you heard that right. The Miami Dolphin quarterback who absolutely killed it last week against the Eagles. I picked up Fitzpatrick the other week and started him because I was desperate for a quarterback, and he did basically nothing. But of course, last week when he's sitting on my bench, he goes off. He's playing the terrible Jets this week, and I think that they're going to put up a bunch of points again. And again, I just hope that we're at the point where the Dolphins are just literally calling every crazy play that they possibly can. I want them to go in, and I want them to go get the playbook that's in like the back, and just like have the punter throw it, have the kicker throw it, have the QB kick it. I want to see Ryan Fitzpatrick kick some damn extra points this Sunday. And what better team to do it against than the garbage fire that is the New York Jets. Then, keeping up with QBs, I can't believe I'm saying this, a former Dolphins QB, and that is Titans quarterback Ryan Tannehill going against the Raiders. Tannehill has been putting together some pretty solid games, and so for example, if you're stuck with QBs like Phillip Rivers or Sam Darnold or Daniel Jones, what have you, I think Ryan Tannehill is a good pick. The Raiders have been blown out the past 2 games, one being the Jets and, of course, last week being blown out by the Chiefs. Their defense really isn't that impressive, and I think that the Titans obviously are in contention for a wild card spot. They're going to be playing very hard. Derrick Henry has been a monster, allowing Ryan Tannehill to really get some opportunities in the passing game, and I think that will continue this week. And then finally, Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins. Yep, Kirk Cousins. Now, didn't do too shabby on this past Monday night against the Seahawks, but Kirk Cousins, I'll give credit where credit is due, has been pretty good this season, at least the second half of the season. And you're going against the Lions who make Mitch Trubisky look like an adequate quarterback. And so I think Kirk Cousins is a pretty damn good pick. And so if he's floating around in your free agency for some reason, or if he's sitting on your bench, I feel pretty confident in starting him this week. Then, moving on to our sleeper pick, his is an ultimate sleeper. There are rumors that Daniel Jones is not going to be playing this Monday night. And so my sleeper, if Daniel Jones does not play, is none other than Eli Manning. Yes, it is rumored that Eli Manning can play against the Eagles. The Eagles who, we mentioned before, just lost to the Dolphins with trick plays. So I think that this is an opportunity for Eli Manning to come and say, like, hey, the old guy has still got it. He's apparently 116 for his entire career, so this would finally give him a winning percentage in games. So if Daniel Jones doesn't start, think about playing Eli Manning, and if Eli Manning doesn't start, maybe Daniel Jones. Then, going on to your duds for this week, the first one, you have the Patriots defense. Yeah, At this point, the Patriots defense, you can hold on to them potentially for the next couple games if you need them because they're playing against weaker opponents. But going up against the Chiefs, after being embarrassed by the Texans, their defense really isn't the same of what it used to be when they were going against garbage opponents. And the Chiefs obviously have an explosive offense, and I would not feel comfortable playing the Patriots defense if you needed that to potentially win a game. Then, moving on to QBs again, you got Andy Dalton versus the Browns. Andy Dalton coming back after being benched last week and leading the Bengals to their first win, which is really nice. The stats weren't really that impressive, though. And, Andy Dalton did get benched for a reason. And I think that I don't know how many people are really desperate enough to play Andy Dalton, but in case you were thinking about it, I wouldn't. He might put up okay points, but I would not risk it, especially if you're vying or in the fantasy playoffs. And then finally, this is a man who's kind of been on the dud list all year, but especially makes it this week, and that's Leonard Fournette, the running back for the Jaguars, going up against the Chargers. The Chargers completely hit and miss, obviously. Like, they're losing games against the Broncos, they're losing games that they definitely should be winning, but Leonard Fournette has been the consistent in all those games being god-awful. And I think that the Chargers, they have a line that could potentially stop Leonard Fournette, but then again, Leonard Fournette is also stopping himself, so I wouldn't really have a whole lot of confidence in him. So yeah, he could sit on your bench this week. I don't even know what the hell to do with him in the future. But those are my studs and duds for Week 14 in the NFL. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. How are you doing in your fantasy leagues? Hopefully, if you're in the playoffs, I wish you much success. Unless you're playing against me, then I hope you catastrophically fail. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy on all social media. See down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout out and thank you to all the Patreon members over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.